Foxy here at Petardo, and today I have this Cyberacoustics CA1001 speaker unit that fits in your drive bay. And I used to have it in my drive bay of my old case for onboard speakers when I was over at somebody else's house or at LAN parties. And of course with the XB I only have 2 drive bays, which isn't bad because that's all I need. But I want to get the insides of this unit into my case because I know I can do it. I got 2 spots I've got picked out on each side. First off, to get it open, you need a small flat blade screwdriver. And when you look it over, there will be 4 screws in the bottom. These will be Phillips heads. You can take those 4 screws out. I've already taken those out, but we'll need a Phillips head for that. Once you've done that, of course you would unhook the plugs that were in the back out, which would be the headphone jack and the Molex connector. Now, can't like pick at it and get the thing to come apart. What you have to do is you have to take a flathead and you have to stick it in one of the seams on the side, and this whole top panel will pop off. Okay, now once you get that popped up, then you just pull it back, lift it straight up, and there's your insides. You have the 2 cheap speakers right here. Got the power and phone jack ports back here on this card, which is held in by 1 single Phillips head screw. And you have this board, which is your auxiliary and your headphone jack, your LED, your volume control, and it's all held in by that 1 Phillips head screw. You can take out these speakers by taking out these screws with washers here, and they will flop right out. Which you could also, if you were picky and you wanted some really nice speakers, you can actually take this cheap unit and you can take it apart and replace these speakers with better speakers, say like Sony desktop speakers or something like that. So you do have options with that. Got the hot glue gun out and put hot glue over the solder points on the boards because the only places we have are to put them over metal, so that will keep, when they dry, that'll keep the metal from contacting metal. And then when that's done, we'll put dabs. When that's done, we'll put dabs on the boards and we'll glue them into the case. When glued, put some glue points on the back of the board and glued it to the rack that the hard drives are on, and we have enough space to where we don't even have to worry about the hard drives heating up the glue. And next, and we made sure that when we put that in there, we have enough clearance to be able to plug a audio cord into the jack, both of them. And you have enough room to move your wheel. Now we've hot glued our other board right here. Enough room for us to get our input jack and our Molex power connectors in. Okay, now we're going to put our speakers in the sides of the fans, pointing out these little holes going out to the grill so that we can get stereo coming out the front. One thing I've kept in mind is the actual speakers. I watched for the magnet strength, and the magnets are on the actual cone right here. As for the back, nothing sticks to the back. So that means they're not strong enough at all to be able to mess with our RAM, which is over here. We've got this much room from it to be able to work with. So what we're going to do, one, make sure it fits. It fits beautifully, look at that. Okay, so now what we're going to do is position it over that hole, figure out where we want our hot glue, we're going to take our hot glue gun, eyeball it, put some dabs there. Put it in, squish it down. The idea to take a screwdriver and clean the area up. Okay, so that speaker is completely solid in there now. So now we can do the other side. Have the other speaker in. One thing to note is that I had to keep my clearance away from the fans to where if I needed to take the fans in and out, I could also do that. Now it's time to hook up our speaker wires. We have this side connected and soldered, ready to tape up, and we're going to run these lines up to the other board, and we're going to do the same thing with the other one. I taped up and zip tied the lines in place and ran speaker wire through the hold downs all the way over to the other. Here we have our left side soldered and taped back together and zip tied up here to keep it held out of the way. If I had them, I would be using heat shrink tubing for over this after I've soldered, but all I have on hand is electrical tape, but that'll work just as well. Now it's time to hook up this speaker. Soldered and ready to tape up. Tidied up and ready to test. Got our Molex hooked up for power, and our headphone jack for testing hooked up to our case. Stereo, we got it. For easy access and ease of wiring, we'll put this plate in right here that has an auxiliary jack going straight to my sound card, going down under the bottom deck, and coming out right here and hooking right into the port. For added stability, I'm going to put some Super Glue brand Fix-All adhesive. Do not use super glue for this. Use this stuff. You can pick up a tube for $1 at any Dollar Tree. I use this stuff for everything. Cars, computers, electronics, anything. And we're going to put some of this around the board to keep it held in. That way, if the hot glue comes loose, this will hold it in place. And that is how you install stereo audio into a Coolermaster XB Evo.